Helbig-strick. Good morning. We missed you last week.
Well, thank you. I was doing real estate stuff last week.
You were.
I do every day. I know.
You were explaining to the rest of the world, the rest of the real estate community around the world.
Well, I was actually there learning. So we have two things going on. We had our company conference, and then we had the National Association of Realtors big conference, which was last week. So you know, just kind of there listening to economists and figuring out what the big guys think that real estate's going to be for the year coming up. So
is that what we're talking about?
That's
today?
what we're talking about. That's what
Good,
we're talking about.
because the feeling is, and there's a sense of people who own homes are, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss out on this.
Yes.
I'm worried. Oh my goodness. Or there's a bubble. I don't want to buy because my house is going to go down.
Correct. So I had this conversation with some people last night. Two very smart attorneys out to dinner, and then the question was, when is the bubble going to happen? When is the burst going to happen? And it's like, there's just so lack of inventory right now that's just feasibly impossible for a bubble burst to happen like it did in 2007 and 8.
Right.
So we're actually at the best real estate market we have had since 2006. I know that's probably not a big shocker,
right,
considering the year that we're coming off of, but there's no signs of that stopping now. Can we slow on the amount of appreciation that we've had over the last couple of years? Sure we can, but of course that all has to come in with interest rates and affordability and just supply and demand. The 1031 exchange, tax deferred exchange bill that Biden was going to have on the chopping block was defeated.
Okay, what was that going to do or not do?
So that was going to eliminate the 1031 tax exchange. So a lot of investors were thinking they had to sell quickly before that came into play. So that has been completely removed. It's been completely defeated. So that was really good information and good news to hear.
That adds nothing to the bubble, right?
No, so now investors can continue to buy because they were bringing inventory on because they were selling their rental properties thinking that they were going to lose that advantage. The iBuyer thing is still top of conversation for everybody. There's people gloating about Zillow. They think Zillow's going to go away. It doesn't appear that Zillow's going away anywhere soon. But, there is news that potentially they have made a deal with Wall Street and they are selling their iBuyer homes that they purchased this year in batch.
Just to get out from under.
To get out from underneath it to hedge funds that are going to be about a 5 to 7% discount. So you might see, we don't have really Zillow iBuyers here, but it's big in a lot of other places. So you'll see some of those properties come on the market. The only possible bad news with that is, are they buying them to hold them? So then we're going to have that inventory not turning over. You have those hedge fund buyers that are making them rental properties. Rental rates are going up drastically.
So what are they talking about with interest rates going up? If interest rates go up, won't the buyers be slower to?
So if interest rates go up, then we're looking at affordability issues again. So we're already having some problem with affordability because that millennial buyer is a huge buyer pool right now. And that was also, even though it only accounts for, they say, nationwide, the iBuyer programs are only accounting for 1% of the sales. We saw a lot of it in St. Louis. So we saw a lot of those investor buyers coming in and buying that $180,000 to $400,000, $425,000 price point. And they were coming in above market value. They were coming in with no appraisals. They were coming in with no inspections, and they were coming in with a 21-day close. So sellers took it. They don't care that you have 2.5 kids and you want to be in that school district or whatever. It was like, show me the money. And there's no emotion involved. So if you're dealing with an iBuyer, there's no emotion involved. A lot of times that's why deals fall apart, is because someone is stuck on fighting over the ceiling fan, and it's principle. You don't give me that ceiling fan, I'm not coming to the closing table. Like that kind of stuff. It doesn't happen when you're dealing with those type of sales. So yeah, we're still seeing that as an affordability issue because they sucked up all of those houses. As interest rates go up, that is going to make an issue.
So that segment of the inventory you're saying is really limited.
Yes, and those are still seeing multiple offers. We're still seeing high prices on that, but there is going to be a point where we're already seeing some sellers have pushed it too far and they're not selling.
Mhm.
So we are having, I've talked about it before, buyer fatigue. We've just got buyers going, I'm just not gonna do it. I don't
Right.
care how much I like it. I'm not paying that much over a price. So we are seeing a little backlash.
Yeah.
But still, we're going into winter with less inventory this year than what we had last year. So think about that.
Something you said to me a couple weeks ago is just stuck in my head, and it was so interesting, and you know the numbers better than I do, but something like you had to build X amount of houses in each
Yeah.
decade to
Yeah, so we
keep.
were 10 million shy of houses the decade that from 2009 to 2019 of new home starts.
So you had to build 10 million homes to keep pace with just the growth of America.
Yes.
And they didn't come close to building 10 million
Correct.
homes.
So that's why this whole, there's gonna be a bubble, I don't wanna buy a house because it's gonna, the sky is falling. It can't right now. It
Right.
can't overnight like it did before. There were so many other factors going on in the 2000,
Right.
you know.
It's like trying to buy a car, right? They're
Correct.
just not producing, they're producing 5 cars and 10 people want cars.
Exactly.
So,
So people are gonna pay. We looked at a car and they were asking for $15,000 over list price.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
people are doing it. Isn't that crazy?
we should buy a
car.
buy a car and live in it. That's what you should
Yes,
do.
You should, well, or these are the thing. The amount of time people are staying in houses, they found out, is actually decreasing. It used to be 10 years, it's down to 7 to 8 years now.
That's about right.
So, yeah, that's what I always heard, but according to them, they said it used to be 10.
Right.
Yeah,
That was a shot at me personally. That wasn't very nice.
that's right, that's why we love McGraw. We love people
Yeah,
McGraw.
Kathy doesn't mind.
That's right. That's what keeps us in business. And then obviously, no shocker, medium home prices are at an all-time record, and 100% of asking price is the average nationwide for what houses are selling for.
I still think, you taught me this, the biggest problem a seller makes is pricing the house too high.
Too high.
Too high.
Yes,
Even
yes.
in a hot market.
Even in a hot market. And then lastly, FSBOs have really decreased. I think it went from about 9%
For
down.
sale by owners.
For sale by owners, from about 9% down to 7%, and out of that 4% already knew the buyer. So in other words, it was like divorce quick claim,
Right.
selling it, getting property to my son, those type of things.
Right.
So
A neighbor
really
knows
about
them.
3%
Yeah.
of just regular
I would think
FSBOs
trying to
this
sell a house or buy a house on your own
year. Yeah.
these days would be a
You're
nightmare.
definitely losing the amount of money that you think you're making by not paying a real estate commission.
And you're arguing over that ceiling fan that nobody really wants.
Always.
Or that wagon wheel coffee table.
That's right.
314-276-SOLD. 314-276-SOLD or KathyHelbigGroup.com. She's my secret weapon. I will loan her out to you, but I need her back when I'm ready to go. KathyHelbigGroup.com. Good stuff. 7:45.